James Harden coming off of a 61-point performance, and I'm a Knick fan, as you know, who has sworn off the team while James Dolan still owns it. Won't set a toe in Madison Square Garden, but I still love watching big moments happen in Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena. I still have that civic pride of being a native New Yorker, watching this all go down and seeing folks like James Harden consider it a special place where he's just going to go off, and he's going to go off to the tune of 61. He's just on fire. And the question, I have is, how is it all working for a Rockets team for him to be pushing the pedal to the metal in December and January to keep a ship afloat when we all know it's all got to come spilling out of his pores in April and May? Certainly if Chris Paul and Capella, they all come back and everybody's healthy and the Rockets put their team together, how are they going to get 7 games out of him against the Golden State Warriors if it all comes down to it? It is great to watch Harden fill it up. And the way he's filling it up. All 61 of his points last night unassisted, which means he's bringing it up the court and he's doing it himself. And it is amazing to watch. And it is remarkable how he creates, and everybody's trying to force him right, and he's still filling it up. And then he goes left, and he'll beat you. And then he'll step back and beat you, and he'll just launch and beat you. And then you foul him, and he goes to the free throw line 90 times. And he never gets called for a travel. And only on a couple of occasions, just a couple of nights ago, when he actually, in Philadelphia, had a huge night offensively, they actually called an offensive foul on him a couple times, and you could see it in his face, like, what gives? Even though it was really weak when they did call on him. But he now has multiple games in his career of 60 points. I mean, the old Gen Staterator is just, it broke down on what Harden's been doing. He ties Kobe for the most points by an opponent in Madison Square Garden, new Madison Square Garden history, with 61. But what does it mean? They almost lost to the Knicks. I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, come on, Knicks, just let him just be the Washington Generals to his Globetrotters tonight. Zion Williamson, do you not watch Duke basketball? And then I'm like, oh, that's right. James Dolan still owns the team. He sold the Liberty yesterday, which got me all. I'm not going to go down the wormhole. I'm not.
Please don't. Please don't. But you're right. I mean, Harden has to do this night in and night out. They're barely winning. They lost by 30 the other night to Philadelphia.
They're 7 over 500.
What's it all for?
And I understand that he's the clear MVP when you're scoring like this. He's averaging 45 points in the month of January, pretty much. I think I rounded up a little bit.
Yeah, 52 points in his last 5 games.
Okay, and it's the 24th of January. So this is not like, a first 5 games of January. So we have a chunk of January play here. And we're entering like Wilt Chamberlain territory. He already has in terms of the number of consecutive 30-point games that he's scored. What does it all mean? Because it does mean, the Larry Francis O'Brien Trophy is going to be handed out by Adam Silver in June. And if you want to lay your hands on that, I know you got to get in the tournament. And in the West, the Rockets, despite this entire burst of remarkable offensive activity from the Beard, they're only a game and a half in front of the 8th-place Clippers. 2.5 in front of the Lakers, who take on a Minnesota Timberwolves team tonight that's trying to get in this mix themselves. Right? Eventually, you've just got to beat the Warriors. It's going to happen. And it's not just like, obviously, in the NFL season where you just have one great 4-quarter game and suddenly you're moving on to the next round.
Right.
You have to do it over a week and a half, 2 weeks. So when Chris Paul comes back, somebody's going to give him a hand, literally an assist. That will happen. How many points? It's not just the 61 last night. What number did you tell me before the show?
200. He scored 261 points in his last 5 games.
Correct.
None of them have been assisted.
So that means
79 have been from the free throw line.
So nobody has passed him the ball and then he scores with it.
Correct. It's remarkable. I've never seen anything like it.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.